Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to a new video. So I did a video like this probably about a month and a half ago, and it was basically looking at the players who were coming in, what was going on in the summer transfer window, and as you know, that has now ended. It's been a few days to have time to reflect on obviously my own team, Newcastle, which we will get onto in this video, but I thought it would be good to basically look through all of the Premier League summer transfers this summer. You might remember from my last video, Sky Sports royally screwed me over and left out a few players. So yeah, I've switched it up and I've gone for the PremierLeague.com website. They reckon they've got every single transfer recorded on here. So you can see Chamberlain there at Liverpool, and as we scroll down, we'll start with Bournemouth, and yeah, we'll have a bit of a look through. So speaking of Bournemouth, we will start with them. I'm not going to take forever on every team because we don't want this video to last forever. But Bournemouth, Begovic, Defoe, Ake, and then they've got Mahoney from Blackburn Rovers as well. Begovic, solid goalkeeper. I think that's a class signing. Defoe hasn't really hit the mark, but you know, Bournemouth have got options. They're not just playing Defoe. But let's be honest, he's solid goal scorer. Okay, so Arsenal, Lacazette, quality signing. Kolasinac, looking decent so far, so I reckon he's going to be a decent player for them. Massive thing for them as well is that they kept Sanchez. Obviously, they were in for Lamar from Monaco. 92 million bid didn't go through, which is absolutely crazy. If that had come in, Sanchez, would he have gone, or would they have kept both? But yeah, Sanchez, having him still in the squad is absolutely massive. The only thing is, where is his mindset? Because I think it seemed like he wanted to go and then obviously stayed. Either way, they have hung on to a massive player there. Now Brighton, they have done some work this summer transfer window. They have brought in a lot of players. Obviously, I imagine some of them will be like youngsters and so on. I haven't done research behind everyone, but Izzy Brown on loan from Chelsea. Brought in Tim Krul at the very end of deadline day. We haven't obviously seen much of him at Newcastle recently, but I also think that's quality as well. But you can just see the list there. They have done bits. They have done well. Burnley, Jonathan Walters from Stoke. I mean, like I said in my last time I did this video, and it's pretty much the same. They've brought in some experience. Whether that's enough, I'm not sure. Like Phil Bardsley, John Walters. But saying that, you know, Chris Wood from Leeds did very well for them last season. He can definitely get them a handful of goals. Obviously, Michael Keane went to Everton and they brought in Jack Cork as a replacement. Not sure if he's quite the same quality, but he is very solid centre-back. Okay, Chelsea. Cavallero in on a free. Didn't want to come to Newcastle because it was too cold. Bakayoko from Monaco, really good signing. Morata, really good signing. Drinkwater from Leicester on transfer deadline day. I think Drinkwater will do them well. Obviously, they've still got Hazard. Costa hasn't gone. So what is going to be happening with him this season, I don't know. If him and Conte can make up and they can have Costa, Hazard, Morata, Drinkwater, these players, you know, they could really do something this season. Crystal Palace, the massive one there is obviously Sacco. They wanted him and then they got him in the end. Fosu Mensah from Man United, actually do rate him. I think he'll do well for them this year. And Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea on loan as well. I think he will do them well as well. Everton, spoke about them last time. They have spent a lot of money this transfer window. Already mentioned Michael Keane, 30 million. Pickford from Sunderland, 25 million. Klaassen from Ajax, 27 million. Sigurdsson, like, quality signings, like really good signings. Wayne Rooney in there as well. They have done a lot, and they just do what they want to hit. And Lewis Gibson from Newcastle as well. Yeah, Everton are just in that spot where they're not quite Champions League, but they are probably better of the bunch below that, and they really need to be hitting that Champions League spot. Especially spending this kind of money shows real intent. So if all these players gel, it will be very interesting to see how they can do this season as well. Huddersfield, and the one for Huddersfield that obviously stands out is Aaron Moy from Man City, 8 million. And I tell you what, when I went to go and watch Newcastle versus Huddersfield, he absolutely ran the show. I know obviously he did well for Huddersfield last year when he was on loan, but this, like, he is ridiculously good. I'm really, really impressed with him. He was playing right back, left back. He did so much for that team, and for 8 million, I think is insanely good. Obviously, you can see here they've brought in a number of other players like Tom Ince. Decent signing for them there. Very attacking front three they were playing against us. And obviously, we've seen how well they've done so far, okay? So if they can keep that up, who knows what they could do this year. All right, Leicester. Maguire from Hull, I think, is a quality signing. Iheanacho from Man City. So much strike power in that Leicester side. Obviously, like I mentioned, they let Drinkwater go, which I think will be a loss. They've kept Mahrez, which is a plus. Funny one for Leicester. Yeah, they've brought us in some very decent signings there, and there's no reason they can't push on from the mid-table finish this had last season. So we'll have to just see what goes on with that one. There's Iheanacho there. Very good player. I think they did well to get him. Liverpool, Salah, we've already seen has been ridiculously good so far at the start of this season. Firmino has been quality. They've kept Coutinho. Again, where his mindset is. And to be honest, they beat Arsenal 4-0 without him. I know Arsenal aren't exactly doing wonders so far this season, but I mean, if you keep, he was regarded as, if not their best player, one of the best players, and they've kept him, and I'm sure he'll do well for them this season. And obviously, Oxlade-Chamberlain in from Arsenal as well. Man City, we obviously know, have spent a lot of money. Kyle Walker, Danilo, Mendy, Bernardo Silva. A list of very decent. Man City already have a very good side. And you know what? When I did my prediction video at the start of the season, I did go Man U to win with Man City in second. But Man City's squad, like, they could easily be winning this league. Pep just needs to get them together and make things work. I watched them play against Brighton, and they did win, but they made slight hard work of it, you know. So if they can get these players together with the new players, they can have a very good season this year. Manchester United, Lindelof, the new defender, looks decent. Lukaku was obviously scoring already. Matic obviously was with Mourinho at Chelsea, thinks a lot of them, brought him in. And then they've taken Ibrahimovic back on as well. So I don't think Ibra again is going to walk into this Man U side, especially how Lukaku's doing. But for Lukaku to have someone like Ibra breathing over his neck, it's going to boost his performance, I would think. And obviously, for the amount of games they're going to have this season with the Champions League, with the Cups, to have your sub-striker as Ibrahimovic is ridiculous. And we come on to Newcastle United, alright? So, I made a video about Newcastle on Tuesday last week, and I said I was relatively happy with how things had gone so far, and it just completely crashed down, okay? So, Lejeune, Atsu, Murphy, Marino, Joselu, like, these players in the first few games we've had have looked very decent. Obviously, Lejeune got injured, but Atsu's looked quality, Marino's looked quality, Murphy's not really had a chance, and Joselu obviously got his first goal for us at the weekend as well. And we'll look at the outs now. Look at the amount of players that have gone out. There's Manquillo coming in. We sold De Jong, Riviere, Hanley for, I'm not sure how much the total was in price, but it gave us 120 grand to spend on wages. And Tuesday last week, with 48 hours, over 48 hours till the transfer deadline ran out, I thought we had that money that Rafa needed to bring in more players, and nothing happened. Very disappointing transfer deadline day for us. I really hope we've got enough. We've kept Gale, but yeah, really hoped we could have done more. We'll have to just see what happens. Swansea away is the next game. It's gonna be a big one, and we'll get on because they've brought in a few players as well. Obviously, the big thing for Southampton this year was the whole Virgil van Dijk. Was he gonna go? Was he gonna stay? And he has stayed. And I think that is huge for Southampton because he is a quality defender. But again, it comes back to, it was quite clear that he did want to go, or it looked like it was like he wanted to go anyway. Where is his head at now? Presumably he's going to come back and play for them and do a good job for them, but you just don't know. Lemina from Juventus, who's just a young lad. A lot of promise for them there. Stoke City, Darren Fletcher for a free on West Brom. Obviously West Brom brought in Gareth Barry from Everton, so them two, much of a muchness, I don't know. Kurt Zouma on a loan, I think is very good. Obviously, they brought in Martins Indy as well from Porto, who I do think is decent. And they brought in Wimmer from Tottenham Hotspur for 18 million, which I didn't even know had happened. Don't know a huge amount about the guy other than he didn't really get a game at Tottenham due to the fact they have two amazing centre-backs already. Obviously, we'll get onto them letting Arnautovic go. And obviously, they sold us Joselu as well, so a couple of forward players gone there. How have I not mentioned that yet? Hesse from PSG on loan. That probably makes up for the fact that they've let those two players go. He is real quality. Before he came in, I didn't really know what Stoke had going on up front. I mean, Peter Crouch scored the other day, so if he's still putting them in, then why do they need new strikers? But yeah, Hesse, that is a good one. Swansea, so I didn't have Swansea getting relegated in my prediction, I don't think. But I knew it would be a hard season for them. Obviously, letting Sigurdsson go to Everton, I thought was maybe the right move as long as they brought players in, and they have definitely done that, alright. Abraham from Chelsea on loan is quality. Obviously, that's another player Newcastle were in for. Sanchez from Bayern Munich on loan. I don't know how he's going to do, whether he's going to fit into the Premier League, but you have to say, like, Swansea getting him in is outrageously good. Like, big up to them, like, seriously. And obviously Llorente did go, but Wilfred Boney is back at Swansea. Quality player for them, which is why he went to Man City, but now he's back at Swansea, and he could easily start slamming the goals in for them, especially with Abraham up front as well. So Tottenham Hotspur, when I made this video last time, they had signed no one, and Pochettino said, don't worry, because there will be signings to come in, and they were very right. So, Aria from PSG, right back, half the price of what they sold Kyle Walker for, and he is very good. He is going to do them a good job there. Llorente from Swansea went to them, as I said. Spurs have kind of always had the problem, because Harry Kane is the obvious starter, no one really wants to be his backup, but with Champions League, with the Cups, Llorente is a quality striker, and they needed backup in that position. If Harry Kane got injured, they don't have a lot going on up there. Watford, again, I don't think I'd made too many signings when I made that last video, and they have brought a decent handful of players in there as well, as you can see. Tom Cleverley from Everton, don't know what's really left in the tank for him. Chalobah? He was in the England squad the other day, so obviously he's doing well for himself. I think that is a good signing for them. And Andre Gray from Burnley as well, I also think is a very good signing for them. And then West Brom, Jay Rodriguez coming in from Southampton. He got a goal the other day, didn't he? He did alright. Kieran Gibbs was around 7 million. Like, it's almost pennies in the Premier League at the minute. I would have loved for Newcastle to have brought in a left back at all. And if it had been Kieran Gibbs, I would be massively happy. And Gareth Barry from Everton again. Not sure how much he's got left in the tank, but he was doing a solid job at Everton, and I think he'll do a solid job at West Brom. And to finish things off, West Ham. So, as we know, West Ham, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because I would actually say West Ham has probably had one of the better transfer windows, or at least until like the week before deadline day, when everyone started bringing players in. Like, West Ham was set up pretty quickly with a decent handful of players, and it just hasn't worked. Obviously Bilic's job is getting questioned, Bilic, but I mean, Zambaleta on a free, like, you can't, like, that is decent. Joe Hart, don't really know where I stand with him at the minute. Is he England's #1 anymore, or should he be? I'm not sure. Arnautovic at Stoke, I think, is quality. The question's over how well he does. He has games that are good, games that are bad. But Hernandez up front, he has been getting goals, but not enough to get them a win. I mean, with Hernandez, he's always going to score. So if they can turn things around, I think they still will have a decent season. But obviously they need to turn things around pretty quickly, because they don't want to let it go on too long. But yes, guys, that is it. That is my run through of all the transfers from this transfer window. Obviously, I didn't talk about all of them. There's a lot of players. You can see the amount of players that went out. It would have taken me hours to do them all. But it's been nice to just kind of go through it with you guys. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. Drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, just wish Newcastle had got someone. But hopefully we've got enough for the season. But I don't know. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think as always. But thank you for watching. And I'll catch you later.